Cyberpunk's launch was nothing short of flawed, and there are plenty of issues with the game that I'm sure plenty of you are aware of. But remember, this is how The Witcher 3's launch went as well, and nobody remembers it because the game got fixed quickly. So I'm sure we can expect some bug fixes and patches very soon. Besides, people are really talking about the game now. Greetings gamers and welcome back to Top 10 Gaming. I'm Connor Monroe and this is the Top 10 Cyberpunk 2077 glitches. Let's jump in. And at 10 console resolution. The whole lead up to the launch of Cyberpunk had everyone hyped about the console releases. The hype was incredible and even I was excited. However, after actual release, the game fell fairly short. The console releases have even more bugs than the PC edition, with the max resolution being somewhere around 720p, which is lower quality than this video. And the game is still being laggy with that, with objects and people not rendering until you're on top of them, and things like cars looking like they're from Grand Theft Auto 2. Currently, if you're a console player, I'm actually going to recommend you hold off from playing this because of the errors. Some people are saying that it's still worth it and the story is still good, but as a non-objective party who's only completed the tutorial on PC, the horror stories outweigh the good ones, so maybe take a step back and wait until these errors are fixed. And at 9 wall hacks. The game isn't perfect, I'm sure not every open world can be. Even GTA 5 has some locations like this, but apparently there are plenty of locations in Cyberpunk's world space that either have no wall texture or are intangible. Don't get me wrong, I've always wanted to be Danny Phantom since 2004, but walking through walls doesn't end well in this game. They either consider you having fallen from a tall building resulting in instant death, or they just teleport you to the inside of the building again. There are some places where you're able to escape, but not all of them, so I don't recommend going ghost and walking through a wall unless you're a trained professional, which I'm sure very few if not none of us are. GTA solved this problem by killing you when you try to get into one of these locations or just walking it off like a normal person, but we have yet to see how Cyberpunk will deal with these bugs, at least at the time of recording, which was yesterday, so they could have released something today or even after I'm done filming. Time is weird. If you're enjoying the video, be sure you hit that like button because it really helps us out and lets us know what you want to see more of. We're extremely excited for Cyberpunk 2077, we hope you are too, as soon as it gets fixed. And at 8, glowing smoke. This is a glitch I've currently only seen me have, but it's still one of the most infuriating experiences of my life. I was recording this game for my personal channel when I get outside into the world space and every single fire or sewer that was emitting smoke or steam started glowing. And I don't mean like kinda glowing, I mean glowing more than Lil Nas X's music career, like it was nuclear. I mean more than my future. I mean more than you when we post another FNAF video. The smoke is glowing so bright that it was actually hurting my eyes and kinda ruining the experience for me personally. I was running on the lowest graphics settings because I was recording it and otherwise it was laggy, but the bloom and RTX was off. And I have a 2070, so I don't know why it was doing that. It totally blocked some parts of the game, like when you're meeting up with Jackie after nearly getting arrested. It was nuts and it was totally blinding. You've been seeing it over this while I'm talking, so I'm sure you know what I mean, but Jesus Christ, please help me fix this if you know what to do, because it hurts me. And at 7, Tposing. Tposing is the bane of every game in existence, aside from those who have basic models like Minecraft, since those characters don't really need a T-pose. The T-pose comes from the static version of the character used while modeling, that the developers then add animations to. If the animation fails, they default to the original pose. This one. There are plenty of characters in bars and all over the map that are currently T-posing, as if it's some secret society that is trying to send you a message, or like they're on Sesame Street teaching you about the alphabet. It doesn't really have an impact on gameplay, it's more just a visual thing that breaks immersion, but for a game that claimed to have the most immersive open world, it's hard to believe that when things like this happen. There are also plenty of moments in game where the animations don't play during scripted events or cutscenes, and that just makes them funny, and mildly frustrating because I'm sure that they did a wicked sick triple flip and now he just looks like he's standing and sliding on the asphalt. And at 6, happy little trees. We all love Bob Ross. We can always stand Bob Ross. However, I don't need my Cyberpunk game covered in happy little trees. Apparently this can just happen without any rhyme or reason. A miniature version of the landscape appears without any of the landmass underneath it, just putting the trees and grass floating in your face. This is such a weird thing and honestly something I would have expected from Skyrim, not a video game in 2020. Why does this happen? Like, it's such a specific thing. It's like something real bad needs to occur for this to just pop into your face, but apparently it just happens whenever. What kind of bullcrap is that? What makes this funnier is just the fact that these characters don't acknowledge it. I mean, of course they wouldn't, but it's like a hologram just appeared and they don't give any shit It's about it, like whatever dude, this is normal. What? Halfway through number 5, walking through cars. This kind of glitch will always be present, since I'm guessing it's pretty hard to have an NPC detect where a vehicle is if they're not getting into it or something similar, especially when it's a pre-made animation. So when Janky gets off his motorcycle and walks away and you parked your car too close, oh well. The animation of him walking away was already set, and honestly that's why games like GTA have people get out of a car and then just stand there until you leave and then they can despawn, since they can't take into account the million variations of where you can actually have parked the car. At least GTA also has the ability to force stop your car when you get to the location that you should be at. Maybe Project Red should think about this idea too. It would interrupt the whole open world where you can do whatever you want aspect of it slightly, but it's still worth it so we can avoid this glitch, which is really immersion breaking. Unless, you know, you're like a frickin' Spectre. And you know me, Skyrim is my favorite game. I really care about immersion and no bugs. I also care about the imperfectitiousness of everything in game. Yeah, that's an MXR reference. No one's gonna understand that. And at 4, janky genitals. While you do have the ability to customize your genitalia in the Cyberpunk 2077 for whatever reason, you don't customize the physics. And while this may be a weird glitch, the genital physics are sometimes just nuts, man, no pun intended. There have been people seeing breasts and willies just flying around. These things are spinning so fast that they could provide lift. The damn things could send me flying faster than a jet engine. The way this thing is spinning reminds me of meat spin. Can I say that on YouTube? No matter what, this glitch, when it happens, is by far one of the crazier and funniest of the bunch. This is probably the second funniest glitch out of all the ones I've seen on Reddit or Twitter. Like, damn, that little Avenger is making Thor feel inadequate with the velocity of its spinning. I don't need a hammer to pull me off to my destination, I just throw my schlong dong diggity and I'm there in less than 5 seconds. Depending on how high I must get in order for the parabola to end on my target. See, Mr. Hickerman, I can do parabolas. Why'd you fail me? And at 3, DUI. The drivers of Cyberpunk aren't always the smartest, like me for example. They can't handle basic traffic and will just stop and not do anything if you leave a car parked in the middle of the street. They won't complain, which is really weird because in my experience they complain if you're not speeding or you're not moving before the light turns green. So them being silent when someone parks horizontally on the highway is highly unrealistic and just plain stupid. But not only that, but they also seem to drive like they're constantly wasted on whatever the strongest alcohol is in the Cyberpunk world. Probably Everclear. It's like 98% or some shit. However, these people are crashing into everything. Practically anything meant to keep you from flying off the road. Barriers next to sidewalks seem to be a particular joy for some drivers in game, but they'll also just teleport you to a random wall for no reason. I don't know why, but sometimes it happens. You're just cruising and then boom, you hit a wall that was like 20 blocks to your left. And at 2, polygons. Polygon count is a term referencing the amount of polygons or shapes that make up the model of something in a video game. For example, the Skyrim mod High Poly project aims to increase the polygon count for smaller items in the game to make them more detailed and less, let's say, edgy. The more polygons, the higher quality model. However, for some reason, in a game released in 2020, the polygon count on a load of items, locations, and vehicles in Cyberpunk 2077 is reduced at times, until it suddenly snaps back into the good model the devs intended. This is done to save memory and processing power since, you know, you don't need to load a whole lot of high-def models when you can't really see them or they're in the distance, but sometimes the high-def models don't render before you can see them. And on console, this is even more pronounced, since the game only runs at 720p and not like it should. This happens in a load of games, from Skyrim to GTA, but is typically seen more commonly on games running on worse hardware, like when I was trying to play GTA on my trash laptop that I called the crap top. Finally, and at number 1, Dangling Dong. This is by far the funniest glitch ever. If you don't know, Cyberpunk actually gives you the opportunity to customize your genitals. I said it at the beginning of the list. You can turn them on or off and increase or decrease the size of your member. This then means that the rendering for your dong can actually appear when you're wearing clothing. Therefore, your dong pokes out of your pants. Yeah, it's funny, it's entertaining, and it looks like when you wear your mask below your nose. But this isn't the end of it either. If your character is female, this can all of a sudden happen to thy mammaries. Basically, your breast can pop out of your shirt. I don't know why this happens, and I don't understand it, but it's still funny. Oh, and the whole dong thing? Yeah, it can happen to girls too. I don't know if you need to enable that part on your character for this to be able to occur, but it can happen to females. Yes, you can give your female Cyberpunk character a massive dong. All girls have dongs. That's where the cooties come from. Duh. I don't know if that's a glitch, but if it is a glitch, that would also be on this list, but I don't know if that's intentional or not. There we have it, friends, the top 10 Cyberpunk 2077 glitches. What glitches have you experienced that I didn't list? Be sure you let me know down below. Thank you all so much for watching. I have been and shall remain Connor Monroe, and I'll see you in another video.